recovery and flexibility. Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, wherever you guys are joining us. It's great to be part of this panel today. Greetings from Christchurch, New Zealand. Before I come and touch briefly on the top on the trends of flexibility and lead times, I thought I might just take a step back and share with everyone how, in general, the industry in New Zealand is recovering. I guess for me to answer that, I guess I need to take a step back and share a little bit on how the industry was pre-COVID. Okay, if you look at the pre-COVID world, the tourism industry in New Zealand has always been quite balanced between domestic and New Zealand. Domestic has always been quite steady and stable. In terms of mix, it was half and half, 50% domestic and 50% international. So that is considered quite healthy, actually. We never had all eggs in one basket. There was this never over reliance on inbound tourists. And also, if you look at the domestic market, it was quite diversified across various industries like meat, dairy, transport, etc. Okay, so in general, the domestic market is bouncing back quite strong, quite well, stronger than we have expected. I know like one of the usual indices that is being looked at is the recovery index. There are a couple of websites out there publishing a recovery index for New Zealand, but I'm not sure if we can look at that because it's a bit skewed. It mostly includes Auckland and Wellington, and that includes hotels in managed isolation facilities as well. So the index that's showing online of 70 or 75 for New Zealand, I think it's a bit inflated. Where the industry is roughly around 50, about 45, the industry as a whole in New Zealand. And if I come to the context of a Scenic Hotel Group, our mix between domestic to international has been about 35 to 65, 35% domestic and 65% international. So obviously, as you can see, there has been quite a heavy reliance on international business. Our recovery index year to date post-COVID world, our index is at about 50. Okay, so if you just look at it mathematically, pre-COVID, our domestic business was 35. So post-COVID, our recovery index should be 35. If we get back 100% of the domestic, our index is 50. So which obviously suggests we are getting far more domestic business than we used to pre-COVID. So short answer to the question, how's the industry recovering? I would say encouraging. Now, coming to the trends of flexibility, yes, we are seeing that as well. And this is not, this is actually something customers are now expecting or almost like mandating. It's not a good to have for them anymore. I think gone are the days of non-refundable prepayment rate plans. So obviously we have responded to the customer needs and demands, and all of our rate plans are now actually on flexible cancellation policies. I'm not sure if and when this will change, but I guess this trend is here to stay for a while because once you remove the friction in something and make someone's lives make the customer's life easy, it's almost impossible to undo it. There will be like almost a revolt if we try and change that. So I'm not sure when we can change that. So in terms of the second trend that was briefly touched on by Maria, lead times, yes, we are seeing the same thing as well. Our lead times are getting shorter and shorter. If you look at overall pre-COVID, about 45% of our business used to come in between 0 to 30 days booking window. Now it's 75%. That is quite significant. And we are also seeing increase in last minute pickup. We define last minute as 0 to 5 days booking window. At the moment, about 45% of our business is last minute, as compared to 20% pre-COVID world. Yeah, again, a very big impact, not just from a forecasting perspective, but also from an operations perspective. Planning the manning and planning the operations also is turning out to be a big challenge. Now, part two about contactless. Sure, I can jump in here and share a couple of initiatives that we have embarked on recently. First one is contactless technology. Now, this contactless technology is not new. It's been around for a while. Actually, we all have been talking about it every now and then, but I guess in the past we didn't have any pressing reasons to go ahead with it. But I guess now what COVID has done is just actually forced us to adopt this technology, primarily being driven by the customer expectations. So, when we wanted to embark on this initiatives, we looked at the customer life cycle, customer journey, and we looked at the different phases. And obviously, we picked the two phases where there is most physical contact, which is check-in and stay. So for check-in, we have rolled out a contactless check-in technology, or I must say we are in the midst of rolling out. I have to be a bit more specific here when I say contactless. We have two tiers of this, if I can call. One is contactless check-in and limited contact check-in. So contactless check-in is obviously, as the name suggests, it is fully contactless. We have got the entire process of check-in covered, including digital registration, payment, ID, and also key card issuing. And of course, for the limited contact option, we couldn't get some of the processes complete, especially around the key card. So feedback from guests, the corporates are loving it. So in fact, the corporates are actually proactively asking us, when are we gonna roll out a contactless checkout? So that is soon to come. Probably post Christmas we'll be rolling that out. So in general, it's working quite well. It's being well received by the customers. Now, the second thing is digital in-room communication. As we all know, hotels have always had this in-room menus and companions and fact sheets. So we got rid of all of that in the room. So we have so we managed to have a very simple workaround. So what we have in the room is, on the desks we have like a desktop calendar shaped notice, which has QR codes. So guests just scan the QR codes and straight away access the digital copies of the in-room menus, companions, fact sheets, etc. So again, guests are loving it. Great feedback. Now, the second trend that was talked about here is channel mix. Yes, again, I think I share same sentiment. We are seeing increase in both OTAs as well as direct. Okay, in fact, our recovery index for FIT Leisure is 110 in terms of room nights. So we are getting more domestic business than we used to get in the past, and we are seeing strong double-digit growth actually in our room nights from a website. That is being driven by few reasons. Okay, number one, you see, one big international chain and few small local chains here have gone out of the market as these hotels are being used as managed isolation facilities as part of the quarantine. So what these guys have done is they have literally basically pulled the plug on marketing spend. So there has been a big reduction in marketing spend in the market. So as a result, like a usual demand supply dynamics, with the marketing spend going down, the marketing costs have reduced significantly. Okay, so we have seen a reduction in our cost per click across all channels actually. social, search, display, and YouTube. So with the reduction in marketing costs, we are getting a bigger reach. We're getting more clicks. Okay, so basically, we're getting a bigger bang for a buck. With more clicks and more reach, we're getting increased traffic to our website. So our traffic has grown, number one. Okay, and that's number one, reduce marketing costs. Second thing is we have actually taken this as an opportunity to actually increase our marketing spend for two reasons. Increase the marketing spend to actually get some of the customers who were staying at our competitors to come and try us, and also accelerated digital marketing adoption. In terms of digital marketing, there have been certain things that we have had on our wish list we have not done in the past. Now, with the reduced marketing costs, we are quickly taking this as an opportunity to try certain things. Like, for instance, YouTube marketing, YouTube video ads. This is something that we have never tried before. Google EDMs. This is something that we have never tried before. We have heard from our agency that YouTube video ads have dropped as low as 5 cents per view. So we are quickly jumping on these opportunities, increasing marketing spend, and trying various things that we have never tried before. Again, all this is paying dividends. Increased reach, increased traffic to the website. Okay. And another interesting thing is actually also increase. We're also seeing increase in conversion. So obviously, with our brand is so obviously quite familiar in the domestic market. People are aware with our brand, and with the way we are communicating, with the way we are appealing to the locals, we are seeing increase in conversion as well. So I thought, yeah, it's pretty interesting. Part 3, corporate travel. Our corporate segment is actually bouncing back quite strong. In fact, I must say stronger than we have anticipated or hoped for. In terms of recovery index, our corporate segment, room nights, again, of course, when we hear recovery index, it depends how we calculate. Is it based on room nights or revenue? Room nights always generally it sounds better because the revenue doesn't sound better because of lower average rate. So if you look at it by room nights, our recovery index for corporate FIT segment is 70. So meaning we are getting 70% of the room nights that we used to get pre-COVID world. Again, that is quite encouraging. Again, we are seeing some very interesting trends in the way the corporate segment is behaving. Number one, obviously, of course, reduced lead times, more and more booking last minute. Increase in GDS. So we see increase in GDS primarily because of the TMCs. Now, if you look back 3 years, if you look back a few years ago, 2, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, we have always been talking about a trend where we have seen shift from managed to unmanaged business travel. More and more companies actually engaging with the brands directly and booking corporate travel directly. So we have seen this trend for the past 3 to 4 years. And in fact, in line with this trend, 2.5, 3 years ago, we have launched our own corporate travel program. Actually, what we have seen, what we are seeing now is actually the uptake is dropping for our direct corporate travel program, and the uptake is increasing for TMCs. So that's very interesting. So probably there are a few factors there from a health and safety perspective, and for this duty of care or due diligence perspective. I think there are a few reasons there. More and more companies are actually engaging TMCs, number one. TMCs are engaging more actively with us in terms of the cleaning protocols and some of the health and safety issues being incorporated as a part of the RFP process. So again, that is something very, very interesting. TMCs engaging with us and asking more details about our cleaning standards, etc. Again, that also I feel, we find quite interesting, and I thought it's worth highlighting in this forum. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much it from me. Thank you all very much. Thank you, Maria. It was great being part of this webinar today. Thank you all.